All right, everyone. How's it going? I'm Chris Chavez from CITIUS Mag here at Agate Alley. Pumped to be here with New Balance for this little media mixer that's taking place and also a chance to celebrate some of Team New Balance's athletes who are having a very successful U.S. Outdoor Championships. I'm joined here by the legend himself, the Olympic medalist, World Championship medalist, and then now fresh off of a fourth place finish in the men's 100, good enough to make the relay squad for the World Championships in Tokyo, Trayvon Bromell. Let's give it up for Trey. Then we've also got U.S. Olympian and now headed to the World Championships in the men's 10,000 meters. Also, I think gearing up for the 5,000, Graham Blanks. Let's give it up for Graham. So we're going to chat really quick just a little bit about the seasons that you guys have both put together. What's been going so well, this particular season that has led you to success at the U.S. Championships? And Trey, I guess, like, wherever you want to start with this path to 2025, because it's been a long road.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting beginning, trying to switch back to my college coach. So learning how to deal with new regiments, figure out what works. But the biggest thing for us was staying healthy.
Yeah.
We knew that if we can be in good contentions with competing at a high level, we had to take a step towards the right direction and making sure that the body can withstand, heavy loads of training, fast reps, and fast times when it comes to racing in high-level competition.
Yeah, so what went into the decision to switch coaches? And I guess, like, something that's, you've been part of Team New Balance for a while now, just like the support to have confidence in that decision.
The more you grow in certain areas of your life, you make these tough decisions. For me, I know that I need to be at a place where I can be free of peace of mind. Love my old training group. It was very technically sound. It was just things that, everything has its place and has its expiration date. And for me, I want to end my career somewhere where, I'm with family. And that's how I see, like, the Baylor gang and the staff there. My coach, Coach Ford, is like, that's my family. I kind of want to end wherever my career takes its expiration, stop at with the people that I started this journey with. So
Yeah, after round one, I think, floated the idea. I was like, all right, well, we're taking this through 2028. And just sort of when we look at just sort of the longevity to your career and being able to sustain it at this level, like, that's very rare in the 100 meters. So what do you credit, like, that key to the longevity?
Key to the longevity, and I say this is in all aspects of life, you just have to have a tough mentality. My uncle always told me, like, a man shouldn't make no excuse. You got to deal with the punches that the world throw at you regardless. Like, at the end of the day, there's going to be good days, going to be bad days. There's never been a person on this earth that just had to go through life with no issues and no troubles. So it's like, you can make an excuse or you can learn from the situation and move from it and adapt. So I'm in the game of adaptation to try to move and evolve in situations. So for me, I never beat myself up too much because it's going to be something even outside of sports that's going to give me trouble or give me issues that I have to navigate and deal with. So to be a man, suck it up, figure out how to make this situation a better, thing on the other side of it. See that light at the end of the tunnel.
One of the key things, especially at this level of the sport, is getting those two things to align. So it's like the mentality side and then just like the physical side. And when you've overcome so many injuries, like, you can line up that side and then it's like, all right, well, now I got to be mentally strong. At what point this year, because you've shown flashes of just like being the best version of yourself, did you start to feel like, all right, both of these things are lining up at the same exact time?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think where I am in my career, mentally, physically, I think I'm getting to a point where I see where I should have been when I was younger. I think being young and naive about certain things led me on this path. But now, I went forth of putting an investment towards having me a physio, so I'm able to keep my body at a high level and be more consistent. Where before it's like, okay, I'm taking a gander of saying, oh, I don't need treatment this day. I'm young. I don't really need to deal with this. But then not knowing when you're competing at a high level like this, you're tearing your body up, right? Like, you can't put an F1 car out there with tires that you use to race last race. Like, something may go wrong. So just as how F1 drivers or other high level athletes treat their bodies. We have to do the same in the sport of being at high velocity speeds. Like I can't just think, oh, I can go run 9.7 and not get treatment, or run 9.8 and not get treatment. The body will eventually break down. So now I realized that, so I had to take those steps, and I think it's working out for the best for me.
We'll come back to a couple of your recent races, but similarly, I guess, like Graham, for you, when Trey is talking about just sort of when he was reflecting on like those early first years of his career and taking care of his body, like you're at this point right now where you're so young and you're having the success of getting to the Olympics and now the World Championships in your first year as a professional. Like, what are you crediting just sort of like this hot streak and catching that fire, right from the coming out of college?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to learn from what you're saying right now. I definitely haven't had a lot of control of my environment. I've been a collegiate athlete, so starting to think about these things that Trayvon's talking about, trying to set up a situation that works for me. But yeah, so far the college system worked well for me. I enjoyed studying and training. I found that they worked well together, and training with the team. But at this point, I think being able to make this team this summer, I would say one big thing that I did to maximize my chances of making this team was just kind of forgoing my NCAA eligibility halfway through my senior year. So kind of being able to focus on getting the time standards down, kind of racing my own schedule, and really feeling like coming in this weekend feeling like it's almost the beginning of the season, or just kind of feeling a little more fresh than I normally would be at this point of the year.
Yeah, so, and at the same time, like you did have schoolwork that you were finishing up all throughout the spring, but turning pro, like what were some of the things that you found not necessarily super challenging, but like that were like, okay, this is intentional in the course of turning professional, and not growing pains of sorts, like transitioning into the professional life?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I've just had like just normal growing pains outside of running. Like I feel like how fast time passes is kind of scary. I think we can all relate to that. And I think, it feels like I was like a freshman in college. Like it really doesn't feel that long ago, and just kind of feeling like, I loved my experience the past 4 years, but I can never go back. Like I can never be a student again. I can never be a freshman again, which is always fun, and can never be a senior again, which is even more fun. So now just kind of like trying to, turn forward again, stop looking back. I'm nostalgic for the good times I've had, but I'm trying to basically just really look forward to kind of taking over my own career and really kind of giving my all with track and field. And it's been hard to kind of uproot myself from the lifestyle I've had the past 4 years. So now just trying to set everything up, and it can be tough, it can be scary, but it's nice to have a little more control.
So when you had the cross-country national title in the fall, you rolled right into running a really fast 5K indoors. Kind of like that fitness carries over. You hit the 10K standard at the 10. And then from there, you really buckle down in training. And we get to see just sort of the fruit of that labor when it comes to like the Diamond League races and how well you fared there, running under 12:50 like on 2 occasions, almost like a week apart. And so what happened necessarily in that period of time that really led to that level up in your own fitness?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always had like in terms of like just running fast, like a fast 5K, a fast 10K, I think I've always kind of had that in me. I've always believed that I can do it. Honestly, I think, I know obviously I trained really hard after the 10K and was able to get to a level to, run big PBs, run under 12:50 a couple of times. But honestly, it's just taking advantage of the opportunity. I wouldn't be shocked if you took a lot of guys from the NCAA who run the 5K, threw them in these Diamond League races. I think a lot of them would break 13. I think a few of them would break 12:50 also. And so I think the biggest thing that changed is I was handed these two opportunities, these two Diamond League races to compete in, and I'm happy with how I took advantage of them, and I'm happy with like how I performed there, and I was able to get it done on the day, which doesn't happen all the time. You get sick, sometimes training doesn't go that well, so Yeah, I was happy with how those 2 races went.
Yeah, so Trey, I guess like, is there when you hear just sort of like Graham talk about like coming out of college like with all of this momentum and fire, that was you know, coming out of Baylor. So, is there a piece of advice that you have for someone like now in their first year as a full-on professional, like to really savor these moments, and then also like how do you bottle that up to keep it for as long as you've been going?
Well, I'm gonna first off say get somebody to work on your body because I waited way too long to do that. But yeah, savor those moments. Make every opportunity and moment count. Like you said, came out of college, I was clicking on all cylinders, but also remember, like, even though I was a big name, I got hurt in my first year of being a pro. And like I said, it's like doing this thing at a high level in college, you know, you're able to, you know, respectfully to the other athletes, you're able to do things and, you know, get through the rounds as smooth as easily. But at this level, man, everybody's great, right? So everybody's running at a high level. So now the expectation for you is you're not training just to be a conference champion or NCAA champion. Like, you're trying to be the world champion, the Olympic champion, world leader, Diamond League winner. And that comes with a cost. And sometimes I think we don't put an account to that. So just making sure you stay focused on the same goals that you had coming out of college and have that same fire and hunger. Attack every opportunity that you have. Make every second count. And I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. And Graham, I guess, like, was there any part of like your Olympic experience last year that you're just like, all right, well, that's what I learned in Paris. It's like now, you know, of course, year over year, everyone's gonna get faster, everyone's gonna get fitter. But now you're returning to another opportunity at a world stage to face the best, that you're like, all right, if I do these little things right, I think I could improve upon how I did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think I took a lot away, you know, just being in the race, like at least up until like the last lap or two where I kind of fell off the leaders. But I think being in that situation, I kind of, I wouldn't even say like learned, because I wouldn't be able to, you know, put it into language like what I learned, but just like the experience of like being there, being at the front, and like seeing those guys that I want to beat, and seeing how they win, how they compete, how it feels, like how painful it is to like move off these fast paces at the end of races. I think, you know, taking away from that Olympic final and then also these other professional races I've been lucky to do this year, I think I kind of understand now what it takes at the end of a race to win, and I understand what it feels like. I think that's a big thing, is the fear of pain, and like the fear of maybe not having enough in the tank or something. I think at this point I've learned a little more. I kind of know what it's gonna feel like at the end of the race, and I know it's gonna take a humongous amount of effort in order to put myself in a position to medal, but the very least, I know what it takes now, and I think hopefully on the day I can put that effort down.
Yeah. All right. So then to recap, the 10K that we saw a couple days ago, like in that final lap, there was a moment where like you sent it, and like you, I think, made a very conscious move. Like I think I can win this race. Like, where did that confidence come from? And I guess like what are you taking away from that race?
Yeah, I think like I was happy with that race. I didn't. You know, I'd rather prefer to win. Every athlete would say that you put up at this table, but yeah, like being able to like, you know, I wasn't able to execute like fully to what I thought I could do that day, but you know, you're right. Like I do feel like I was able to like almost start moving and like make a big move, and then just kind of, you know, maybe a little bit of you know, my competitors maybe threw in a little bit of extra pace and kind of fell off of it. So like, you know, next time I think I would just really try to stick to my gut, commit to my moves, and you know, trust that I have enough. I think honestly the thing I need to in the future is just really not being afraid to take the lead again, because it's kind of like, it feels like so far, at least for me, like once you get out of college, it's like you're kind of at the bottom of the food chain again, and it's scary to take the lead. And it took me 3-4 years in college to be confident enough to get into the front of a race and control it and run it how I want. And hopefully I can find that confidence within me to start doing that again in the pro ranks.
Yeah. Well, the cool part for us as fans is that we don't have to wait that long, because you've got a 5K tomorrow where you could get a chance of doing that. And then Trey, for you, I guess, 100 final, I think I saw it on your Instagram story. You're like, all right, maybe the execution wasn't there, but like, what did you learn from this race? And then I guess that there's still that. I guess the beauty of the sport is there are more opportunities, like, and there are more races ahead. So, what are you hoping to, I guess, accomplish after this?
You know, I train to execute and train to run fast. So obviously we're gonna have Celestia is one of the track meets that's up for me next. Trying to get into the rest of the 100-meter Diamond Leagues. I think it's one after that in Lausanne, and then the Diamond League final. So we want to end the 100-meter campaign being back with my coach and my strength coach at Baylor on a good note, as well as preferably go to Tokyo, get on that 4x1, and we bring back a medal. Out of my career, I don't have no relay medal, so
yeah,
that's also been interesting. But the focus remains the same. Work hard, keep moving forward, keep my head on strong, and keep executing like at a high level. Like that's always been my goal. That's always what I wanted to do and wanted to perform when the lights on.
Ideally, on the 4x1, what's the leg you want?
So it's crazy. Like I know a lot of people see me as like a good starter, and so you instantly try to put the starter's first leg. But growing up, so I used to watch Tyson a lot, so I always was like infatuated with wanting to run third leg. So that's that's one of the interesting things. Everybody want to stick me as the first leg runner and everything, but I actually like to run. I'll say second or third leg. I'll be smooth with that.
No, it'll be interesting what decision comes in the coming months, and you've got plenty of opportunities, I guess, to prove your case for it. But for the two of you, Graham, Trey, appreciate you taking the time for this. I guess like after this, there might be light media availability afterwards. We'll check with James and Camara, the New Balance team. But let's give it up for Trayvon Bromell and Graham Blanks. Thanks, guys.
For sure.